confidence does not come from things outside of you. Confidence is this state that you foster inside of yourself. I think confidence has a lot to do about our thoughts about ourselves. Confidence is a feeling that we create from our thoughts. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast this week.
Welcome to episode 7.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
As soon as I started, I was like, he's probably lost track by now, but you haven't.
Yeah.
So we're here.
You've been a busy bee.
I've been so busy, but it's crazy because in the past, that busyness would have led to feeling so fucking drained.
Yeah.
Drained. It would have been so draining. I would have just been so wiped out. And so I'm saying that because I know that there are people who maybe you guys have your own business or you're doing things and you're like, oh my God, this is so draining. And I've been doing a lot, but it's been so fulfilling and so aligned for me that it hasn't been draining. It's actually been life-giving. And I keep expecting myself to kind of wow, I hope my words start coming to me sometime soon. But I've been waiting for a crash and it hasn't come. I have been reworking my membership and the materials in the membership, and we've been making changes to the main course. And I decided to be an overachiever and not only replace the main course, which we'll get into some of the details of that, but also my overeating content as well.
You keep saying that. It's an overeating course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Overeating content. You redid the entire course.
Yeah, it's my teaching on the solution to stopping overeating, which is work that I've done a lot over the last 6 years. But the main course that I replaced, I believe, has the foundation to make any tool work better. And I feel like if you are trying to change your life using tools, but your foundation is off, you're going to find that those tools do not work. And if you get the foundation right, it makes every tool work so much better. And I think part of that is just there's less pressure on this tool needs to fix me, it needs to heal me, it needs to change this thing. So yeah, I am accepting new clients again.
On Wednesday. On Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
October 1st?
October 1st. Yes.
Yeah, I was editing that stuff and I just couldn't. It's crazy to me how much better it is than anything else you've put out.
Yes. And there has been a rapid shift in the last 6 weeks. We can blame eclipse season if we want, where my eclipse season, people who got rocked by that window of time. But what I noticed and what I noticed for a lot of clients and friends and people online is that things that were meant to change changed, and they changed very quickly. And it was almost like this rapid alignment where there was so much clarity and the energy was moving really fast. And I feel like I surfed that wave. And this, what I've created as the basis of when people join my program, my number one goal is let's all get on the same page here. Because I want this is what we're doing here. This is what the focus is. This is what the language is. This is the change that we're making. Here's what we're doing here. And that's why I love to have a core course. And I want it to be very clear. I've never made something as clear as this, though. Just as a little outline, which I'm sure will be, available on the website too, if you go to vibewithmaggie.com. I wanted to teach the foundations that get you to a point where you are able to trust yourself, trust your intuition, and trust what it is you want to do with your life. And many of us are trying to do that first, and we skip the other steps. So the other steps of what I'm going to teach you in that course is the first one is regulate. We've got to get you a little bit more regulated. This doesn't mean feeling calm all the time, but it means getting you to a bit more of a baseline where you can make decisions from a different part of your brain. You're using 2 different parts of your brain, whether you're in survival mode or in that creation mode. Then we got to get good with your feelings. We have to make friends with your feelings. You need to know how to allow your emotions and not be afraid of them. This is a skill that makes you unstoppable in any area of your life. The third thing is we got to get you to begin trusting yourself again. You have to be able to trust yourself to decide your perspective, to see, what your thinking is creating, how you're experiencing your life, and how to change that, how to shift that into feeling better and thinking better and really getting your mind on track and essentially being able to coach yourself. That's very important to me in my coaching membership, that you get to get coached, watch coaching, and coach yourself. And then the fourth thing is just alignment. What do you want in life? What's important to you? What do you value? And when you get clear on that, you have a compass. So when you have to make decisions, changes in your life, you get to know, okay, this is what I value the most though. We are not on this earth for very long. It is important to know, what do I value the most here? And then run your decisions through that. So that is I was going to say redo. It's not a redo. It's a brand new course that I've created called Rooted. That is kind of like the signature course within my program. And then what's exciting to me is I feel like that is my life's work. And there are so many things I want to talk about that kind of branch out from those roots. And, one of those things is the emotional overeating aspect. And everything I teach you in that course is going to actually work because we're really finalizing and we're really getting the foundation right, is what I want to say. So you can go to vibewithmaggie.com to join the wait list. You'll get an email, first thing Wednesday, as long as everything is good to go. I guess we might not have wanted to share exact dates because we're waiting on our developer, but fingers crossed everything works because it's within our app as well.
Yeah.
But either way, if it changes,
if enrollment isn't open on Wednesday, just put yourself on the wait list and you'll get an email when it's open sometime this week.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing, and I'm loving it. I'm having some really good conversations with my clients and building that self-trust and building that confidence, and that's what really matters to people, which is actually what we're going to talk about today.
Cool.
We're going to talk about confidence. So I want to talk about it in lots of different ways, but I first thought it would be fun to kind of discuss, like, how would you define confidence? What do you think confidence is? And I'll kind of share what I think. Like, how would you define it?
Confidence is like not caring. I don't care what you think. Or
is that what it is?
Or like,
like if people that are confident, or if you see yourself as confident, like, what does that mean? Like, confidence,
comfortable in your own skin.
Comfortable in your own skin. Yeah. Yeah. I see that. And I think there are like multiple different definitions of it. It's comfortable with yourself. It's not being afraid to take up space. I think that a problem that we have in society is that normally confidence is based off of our appearance or our, performance, or this forced positivity, or just like this way we just display ourselves to the world, which is a problem because then we think, as soon as I get the job, as soon as I lose the weight, as soon as I whatever, then my prize is confidence. And I think that can be problematic. And I think you and I can both speak from different experiences where something we attained, we thought it would be like, oh my God, I've made it. I'm so confident.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing I've learned again and again and again, is that confidence does not come from things outside of you. Confidence is this state that you foster inside of yourself. And it's a combination of things. And it's interesting because I think confidence has a lot to do about our thoughts about ourselves. But confidence is also a feeling. So I guess I would argue to say that confidence is a feeling that we create from our thoughts. I'm sure you've known people who, like, they seem so confident and you're like, well, I don't know if I really understand why that is. But it doesn't matter because they're like, they just have this air of like, yeah, I have nothing to prove. I don't care. There's this carefreeness and I don't know, belief in yourself. But when you have achievements without that inner confidence, it can be like a major, major letdown.
What do you mean?
Well, like I was just talking about, you achieve these things, but you don't have inner confidence. And that can be confusing because you're like, well, the world would tell me if I have this body, I should be confident. And that's what always was like crazy to me as a coach, who used to work in the weight loss industry, is like, there's so much expectation that especially our bodies or something where it's like, you should be so confident, but it doesn't matter because if things are off mentally, if you doubt yourself, if you pick everything apart of yourself, if you're used to looking in the mirror, and this is just specifically body stuff, but if you're used to looking in the mirror and picking apart what you see, that doesn't stop because you've lost weight or you've got more fit or anything like that. Confidence really is an inner state, I think. And I've always said that I think confidence comes second. I think a lot of people wait till they have whatever they define as the feeling of confidence inside them to take action. And I think confidence is something that comes second, but it also is something that comes from fundamentally shifting who you believe you are and whether or not you believe you deserve to take up space.
It's pretty mental.
It is, which is interesting just because confidence is a feeling.
Yeah.
But our feelings come from our thoughts. And if we believe we're worthless or that we are embarrassing or we are cringe or we are whatever, that, sinks the confidence. And so what would make the difference between someone who's like, I am super confident and someone who's like, I'm not confident at all? Or probably a better way to ask that is what makes the difference between someone who feels confident and someone who really feels, what's the opposite of confident? I can't think right now. But whatever the opposite of confidence is. And that would be the beliefs that person has about themselves. Because other people could look and be like, if I were him, I'd be confident. If I had his job, if I had his body, if I had whatever, then I'd be confident. But you wouldn't necessarily. And I think that's something really, really important to remember.
I mean, I haven't accomplished a lot of things, but I've accomplished a few things that people would think would give somebody confidence.
And did they give you confidence?
Absolutely not.
Because the pole always moves. If it's always something external, it's always going to move to the next thing. It's like, oh, if I can make this amount of money, then you make it and you're like, no, if I could make that amount of money, you're like, that still's not enough. Like there isn't confidence but you would say, if we were talking about money or business or something, you do have confidence in certain areas of your ability to make money or your ability to create a business or your ability, whatever.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is different too. Like I'm exploring this topic as we talk too, like the confidence in our ability versus the confidence in ourself. And are those two different things? I'm not sure.
I think where I maybe lack confidence or have struggled with confidence in the past is people's perception of me. I'm worried about that.
Yeah. Which would be a lack of confidence because which people? Talk to one group of people and they're like, oh my God, I'm so impressed by you. Look at everything you've been able to do. And look at someone else who's like, well, I'm not that impressive to me. I've done more, whatever.
Yeah.
And that again is like, that's a way that we use the external in the form of other people's opinions to determine, do I have a right to feel confident about what I've accomplished or what I do or what I'm capable of or not?
Yeah.
So let's talk about a couple different reframes of confidence that I really like. First, I want to talk about this as being this is my definition of confidence. And I stand by it. And I feel like it's the best confidence you could ever have. And that would be the capacity to move forward with doubt, fear, or imperfection present because you trust yourself to handle whatever happens. Imagine that level of confidence. People who are confident are kind of like, I don't really care how this shakes out. I don't care. I'm going to show up. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to live in the moment. I'm going to there's just this, it's not that I think there's a perception that confident people don't ever feel fear or confident people never doubt themselves because that's the perception they give off. And maybe, I don't know, that's what we expect. We look at them and we're like, oh, she seems so confident. She seems like she doesn't care what anybody thinks. Would absolutely guarantee that's not true. But is it possible for all of us to move forward being like, even if I'm afraid, even if I'm doubtful, even if I don't feel perfect and 100% ready, I have this deep-seated trust that I can handle whatever happens. And I feel like, is that not what the lack of confidence would be? A lack of confidence is like, I'm afraid that I can't handle it. I can't handle the ridicule. I can't handle the failure. I can't handle it. And that's what's scary about confidence is that there's this belief that if I'm a confident person, that I have to be bulletproof. I have to be immune to pain or hurt. And I think the difference is people who are, I don't mean people who are faking confidence. I mean people who are truly confident. That confidence comes from that deep self-trust that I think so many of us want. I just want to be able to trust myself that I can handle whatever happens and that maybe it'll be better than I imagine. And there's just this trust in yourself. What do you think about that definition? Because I
like that.
Love it.
I relate to it. I often think about, because when you have your own business, you always have these intrusive thoughts of this thing could come crumbling down at any moment. And I think about that a lot, and I have extreme confidence that even if it did, we would be fine
Yeah.
because in our ability to build something else.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like a combination of what we've been talking about. It's like you trust that, number one, you have the confidence that we could deal with the loss.
Yeah.
So that's one level of confidence, that it's like, I can manage deep pain. Like that would hurt. That would be an owie, but I could handle it. But then you also have this other level of confidence that's like, and I know what I'm doing here.
Exactly.
And I would figure it out again. And that's like a different level of confidence. So it's like, and I don't know if you would define those as different things, but I think that's a big part of confidence. Because most people who aren't confident, they aren't taking action. And the reason they're not taking action is because they're so afraid of the failure, because what they've made that mean is I couldn't handle the failure. That was a state that I lived my life from a lot. I was just thinking about that earlier today. I always felt like I was just one thing from like being kicked over a cliff. Like everything was like, if my kid was hospitalized, I couldn't handle it. If I got sick with some, terminal diagnosis or something, I couldn't handle it. But like, those are also two very extreme things. I also mean it in a very minor way. Like we were driving up the canyon today to go to Big Cottonwood Canyon, and I saw someone's car had their tire completely blown out. And I was just thinking, oh my God, I heard my old voice. I'm like, oh my God, that would be like, they're having the worst day. And now they have to go all the way down the canyon, and they have to get, like a tow truck. They have to come all the way back up the canyon. And I remember like, I was feeding it through this filter of like, we don't have time for this. And the juice wasn't worth the squeeze here. And I wonder if they regret coming up and doing whatever they were doing, hiking or running or, I don't know, rappelling off a cliff. And it's just this different. In the past, I would have been like, just at the chance that kind of shit can happen, like I'll just stay inside. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go explore. I don't want to go out. It's just stay safe here. It's just not worth, obviously I swung to the other end here, but like just this thought in my mind that viewing life in a way of what is worth it to do and where your time, am I making sense?
Yeah.
So when you're not confident, you're constantly thinking of what could go wrong, how you could fail, how you could get slowed down, and that's kind of one of the first things I wanted to get into, which is the first block against confidence, which is overthinking. I think when you struggle with overthinking and you spiral out in your mind all the time, that's a huge killer of self-confidence. It has you in your mind thinking about like worst case scenarios, what ifs, replaying conversations. Have you ever done that? You're like texting someone and you're trying to come up with the perfect thing to say. All of that is coming from this lack of confidence that I trust myself to say what I need to say, and I have my own back, and however they receive it. Like that's the polar opposite of that. It's overthinking and trying to get to this confident place where I was just coaching a client on this. You're getting to a place where you're like, that is the right choice. That's what overthinking does. It has us looking for the right choice so we don't make a mistake, because we're so just resistant to mistakes. Like whatever a stronger word than even resistant is, like we can't handle it. We don't want to deal with it. So we spend all this time overthinking and spiraling and trying to find the right answer. Can you like tune into that feeling of how it feels when you're overthinking? Like you feel so not confident.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a questioning and a doubting and a, frantic seeking for the right thing to do and trying to look into every possible outcome that exists before you actually make a decision. But the problem is that confidence is actually built through action. So overthinking is the complete ass backwards way to do it, because action and evidence is what has you changing your beliefs and your thoughts that you're no.
What's the Hormozy quote?
I don't know.
He said it's something along the lines of like building up enough evidence to where you feel confident.
Yeah.
Undeniable proof.
Yes. Yeah. Where it's like there's no way we look at this pile of evidence and think we are that other person.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always telling my clients, like, build the new evidence. There is no hack to building the new evidence. You have to do something different. You have to show up different. Then the confidence comes second. The confidence and the trust and the belief comes as a result of the creation of that new evidence. Okay. And a lot of these blocks that we're going to talk about are also actual nervous system states. Overthinking would be the state of flight. It has you living in your head instead of living in your body. That's very important to know when you are going into flight mode, because that's going to tank your confidence. It's going to have you up in your head, out of your body, spinning for the perfect answer. That is a path that never ends. There is no destination. It never stops. You can stay on that hamster wheel for the rest of your life. It is not a good place to be, and it does not build confidence. It actually drives self-doubt, it drives distrust, and it drives a lack of confidence. Okay, let's talk about the second one, people-pleasing. People-pleasing is also inherently coming from a lack of self-confidence because you are outsourcing your worth. And you're trying to behave in a way that, avoids conflict and hopefully makes the other person happy just so you can keep the peace. I think a lot of people, maybe in their families, maybe in their work environment, they don't feel confident. And by that, I mean, they don't feel like they can say what they want to say. They don't feel like they can be who they are and who they want to be. And that's coming from the people pleasing.
Isn't that people pleasing is also just a form of like protecting what people think about me too?
Yeah, doing your best. People pleasing is the most fascinating one to me. And I want to do a deep dive podcast on it at some point, but I just think it's so fascinating the way that we will contort ourselves and do whatever we need to do so that we technically, because we rarely actually hear the opinions of other people. I know that's probably an exception. A lot of the time we probably do. But when we are people pleasing, we are thinking about their thoughts, about what they're thinking about us. And we're trying to do something that we believe will adjust their thoughts in a way that makes us more worthy. And it's just, we're so disconnected from the reality of what is even real. And that's what fascinates me, is the disconnection where it's like, okay, well, if I, let's use going to church, for example. Like, if I go to church, that's going to make my family think that I am doing what I should be doing. And then if they believe that, then I can believe. It just goes back and forth instead of being like, we left our religion back in 2016, I think. And our families have been great about it. But what I was fascinated by was, I was so afraid of what my family would think. But then I had to realize that right now, I was just okay with them believing I was someone different than I was. I was who I am, but I was living in a way that put on a facade so that they could think I was someone else. And then that made me feel more safe. And I think that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Of course, I don't mean I think it's crazy as in I don't fall into it anymore, because of course I do. We all do. I'm just fascinated at the fact where I'm like, okay, I am who I am. I talk how I talk. I do what I do in my own home and in my own life. But if I'm in front of you, or if I'm presenting to you, or if I'm posting on the internet for you, I want to make sure that you don't know that I'm the way that I am and that I do what I do and I talk how I talk. Like, because that would mean we're just so busy in that. And that is also another nervous system response. It's the fawn response. It's not one that gets a lot of attention, but like out in the wild, it would be, I wouldn't even say in the wild, because I can't think of a good like nature example. But if you were in a dark alley with some scary dude, if you could just be calm and agreeable and like smile and whatever that you could possibly get away safely. The fawn response. Let me not upset you. Let me smile. Let me say yes when I mean no. Let me do what I can do. So we all do that in some areas of our life. But I want to just point out that these are also like states that we don't want to get stuck in, and that we want to be aware that when we are outsourcing our worth and we are outsourcing our beliefs and looking for other people to tell us how valuable we are, whether or not we're worthy, that's another way we are coming from a lack of self-confidence. And then the last one is perfectionism. And that's one that every one of my clients falls into. It's just this, I need to wait until I'm ready before I do anything, which leads most of the time to doing nothing. Or you get started, and as soon as you don't do it perfectly, you quit. Because the not being perfect and being able to nail it and do it perfectly and the best right from the get-go is intolerable.
Why is that so common?
Perfectionism?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, where did we pick up the fact that something that's so unattainable is like the baseline for everybody? Like, you can't do this, but every single one of you needs to figure out how to do it. Like, that's what it's always been. And we all know, we're like, I made a joke on a coaching call the other day because there's a really funny meme where like they're comforting their friend and telling them like, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're not. And then they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, not you though. Like we have this ability to like love people and like accept that you're imperfect. That's normal. That's life. But then you look at yourself and you're like, this doesn't apply to you. You go ahead, ignore everything I just told her, because we hold ourselves to this standard of perfection that we even tell other people isn't attainable or sustainable or doable in any way.
What's that about?
In not being able to tolerate being a learner or failing. I'm sure there are places when you take that deep of what it's really about, but it's a lot of waiting until you're feeling perfectly ready, over preparing, really getting stuck in the planning stage. I see a lot. The planning stage feels good because you're just like plans, possibilities. Amazing. But very little action, very little change, very little confidence building. Because you're never giving yourself a chance to become confident. If confidence comes from action and perfectionism thwarts taking action, you're not going to become more confident. You need to do the polar opposite of perfectionism, which people don't want to do, which is jump into it, be messy, be sloppy, get reps under your belt, improve slowly a little bit every single day. And people are like, no. I'm going to wait till I have it perfectly planned, perfectly figured out until I can do it every single day perfectly for the rest of my life. And then I'm going to get started.
Well, I think there's layers to it too, because it's also short-lived action. It's not just inaction. People will start, and once they realize a week or two in that they can't be perfect, then they stop.
Yeah. And normally perfection is also being part of that is unrealistic expectations. Yeah. Even in like, of course, the expectation that you'll be perfect is unrealistic, but normally also whatever you're expecting yourself to do is also not realistic. It's like, like what you're definitely for sure. If you're a perfectionist, you're asking way too much. You're expecting way too much at the go. It's hard to be perfect with anything at a base level. I mean, you being completely realistic, that is hard to be perfect at. But you want to be perfect at the perfectionist version of doing whatever it is you want to do. Yeah. Impossible. It's a coping strategy. It's an avoidance strategy. It is, what I hate the most is that it is packaged as something very, very cool
and noble.
Yeah, like, oh, perfectionism, like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. And it's like, okay, so you just like avoid taking action.
People say that thinking it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm a perfectionist. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's worth digging deeper into, because what does that mean? It means you don't take action. It means that you spend a lot of time overthinking. Because I know that it doesn't mean that you're doing something perfect. Like, I know that it's impossible. So what do you actually mean when most people happily claim, like, I'm just a perfectionist?
Well, some people believe they have a high standards for themselves, right?
Yeah, that's something I've been breaking apart with multiple clients lately.
Yeah.
Because for what? And they don't know the answer to that question. And it's an important question to ask. And that's why I love coaching. Why do you need to be productive all the time? Why do you need to make sure every moment of your day is producing something? Who told you that your worth is connected to what you make and what you do? Who are you? Like, you're burning the candle at both ends. For what? For who is probably a better question. For who?
So I can feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So I can have self-confidence.
The worst part is then I'll follow up and say, do you feel good about yourself?
Yeah.
No. I feel fried. I feel unfulfilled. I feel drained. I feel sick. My body is showing it. And I'm like, then what are we doing? We have to do something else. And that's such a good, like, that's such fulfilling work for me to do as a coach, because when you guys start seeing your life in a different way and you're like, wait, I don't know when this got programmed into me. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't lay down and take a nap. I don't know why I have to make sure that if I walk up the stairs, I make sure I grab everything on the stairs, because I have to make my walk up the stairs be a good use of my time. I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing that. And that's a great jumping off point, because you get to decide, do I want to keep choosing to show up this way? It's not creating anything but burnout and this misrepresented thing where like people now start dumping everything on you because you're the one who's like, I can take it, I can do it. For what? When we were younger, it might have gotten us approval. It might have literally helped us to feel safer, to be the one that your parents could count on, or the one that we can kind of dump this on you and she'll shoulder it. But as adults, especially if you're totally fulfilled, then disregard everything I'm saying. But if you have a hint and something in your gut is like, I am that person and I'm not having a good time, it's worth asking yourself questions like, where did this come from? What's the need? What's the purpose? And do I want to keep this up? Because what I found is that answering those questions as it came from my childhood, it's how I felt worthy. It was from, the expectations my parents had of me. No, I don't want to do it anymore. These are clients who start saying no to shit they don't want to do. They start pulling out of things that would have just been a default. They start saying, let me think about it. Give me some time and I'll get back to you. They leave people on red. They do whatever they need to do so that they can take time and say, is this what my soul wants? Is this what I want to do? Is this how I want to spend this one precious life? Is this how I want to exert this energy? They learn the value of their energy.
Yeah.
And they decide where they want to put it. So people pleasing, or this is perfectionism, is a huge, both of those things are kind of the same thing. Did I get looped into something else? They're both huge things that I help clients with, because we are living our lives for other people and we are performing and excelling. For what reason? I don't mean be shitty at everything, but sometimes we're holding ourselves to standards of perfectionism for literally no reason. Like, this isn't your ACTs. You don't need to like get into Yale right now. Like it's okay to pull back and know that you're still safe, even when you aren't achieving. And I think that is a root that goes pretty deep, where it's like, am I safe if I don't have anything to show for my time?
I think it's a loop though. People feel like they need to be perfectionists so that they can have self-confidence and feel good about themselves.
Well, then the question is, do you?
Do you what?
Do you have self-confidence? Do you feel good about yourself? And the answer that I normally get when I'm coaching someone is no. They don't feel confident. They actually are trying to be perfectionists while simultaneously believing it's never going to be enough. And those two beliefs going head to head, like, it's not good.
Yeah.
They go very contrary to each other. So that's how I always gut check it. If someone tells me blah, 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 and I'm doing it because like I pride myself on being a high achiever and I pride myself on being very smart and intelligent and, whatever. And then the question is, okay, and how's that working for you? Well, they're on a coaching call with me at that moment. So like, they're not feeling amazing. I am not saying that achievement isn't cool. I'm not saying creating isn't cool. I'm saying that we have taken it to such a far level where we don't have a moment for ourselves. We're constantly pouring into other people. We don't take care of ourselves. We don't do things that bring us joy. We've lost ourselves in achievement. And so that's who I'm talking to with the excessive perfectionism, is my overachieving women who like, you're doing too much. And for what? Let's explore that. Okay. And then the last one that is a blocker to self-confidence is just having a dysregulated nervous system, just being dysregulated, living in survival mode. When you are in survival mode, confidence is impossible. You're constantly living in fight or flight. You're having panic. You're having urgency. You're having irritability, or you're numb, or you're checked out. A confident person isn't in that state.
Yeah.
Remember, those are normal states. We just don't want to get stuck there. So you're gonna go in and out of all the states that we've talked about. We just don't want to get stuck there.
Well, all the confident people I know are pretty chill.
Yes, they don't seem to worry about stuff.
Yeah.
Did you see the Instagram story reel that I sent you?
No.
Sometimes I just get scrolling on reels, guys, and I don't know how that happens. I feel like they've updated their algorithm a little bit. But let me paint the scene for you. So it's a snowy driveway and the wife is at the top of the driveway and the husband is outside of the car. The car starts sliding back. Nobody does anything. Nobody.
I did see this.
Okay, so nobody screams. Nobody panics. It slides all the way down to the driveway and it stops. And she goes, okay, I'm going to go make you your smoothie. And he responds, okay, I'm going to park the car right here. And the text on it said what a calm nervous system looks like. It's like nobody was, oh my God, oh, like, freaking out and be like, oh my God, stop the car. No, they were just like, oh. All right. Anyways, I'm going to go make this move. All right. Yeah, I'm going to move the car. It's like there's this, if there was an air of what self-confidence looks like, it's like the little shit doesn't really get me down. And again, that's that energy of like, I can take it. I can handle it. I'm not really worried about how this could go wrong. And the main place that lack of worry comes from is trust. Okay. So let's say I try to be confident and I wear an outfit that like might be considered odd to people. And I show up at this party and I know that people are going to have opinions like that, but I just choose to be like, no, I wear whatever I want to wear. And people probably will have opinions and they might think it's ugly or that it's weird, but that doesn't matter if I feel confident in it. It's just, I don't care. I'm willing to take whatever comes and not let it shake me because I know who I am and I know what I like and I know that I like this outfit. So screw everybody. I don't care. I'm wearing, and it's got me thinking though, like, what I was just going to say was, I don't care and I'm wearing this for me. And I'm wondering if the way we have confidence backwards is I'm doing this for them. When we do something and we want approval from other people so that we can feel confident, we're not doing it for us. We're doing it to say, how do you see me? Do you think I'm successful? Do you think I'm attractive? Do you think I'm fit? I don't know. You guys let me know. That's that outsourcing again. So like maybe confidence is a little bit different in that sense where one of the main marks of a confident person is that they're like, I'm living my life for me. That doesn't mean selfishly and like not for any, taking care of anybody else, but like I make my choices for me. And I get to decide when enough is enough. That was something that also came up on a coaching call and a quote that I've been saying for years. I learned it from Allison Faulkner when I went to her Build a Brand workshop back in 2018, was pivotal for my business and my life. She doesn't do it anymore. But one of the main quotes that she is known for is saying, enough is a decision, not an amount. And I love that because it just says, what is enough success? What is enough money? What is enough love? What is enough joy? What is enough? That's not a real thing. You're never going to find the answer to that question. Enough is a decision. And when you decide like this outfit is enough, this offering is enough, this whatever is enough, you can be confident in that decision because I would also argue that confidence is kind of a choice too. It's not really a thing that happens to us, I don't think. Right?
Yeah, for me, I feel the most confident when I have nothing to lose.
Yeah. Well, define what would losing something look like?
It could mean so many different things.
Like what's one example?
The most relatable one for me is like how I relate to how I show up in like work meetings and stuff.
Okay.
Early on in my career, I used to show up in thinking that I have to perform and prove that I deserve to be there. Mm-hmm. And that probably came from just a complete like lack of self-confidence and knowing that I probably was underqualified at the time. And I mean, now I kind of show up to meetings. It depends on who it's with, but and I was telling you this the other day, like I had clients where like these people could fire me and I don't even care.
Yeah.
So like I probably came off as really confident to them because they could have fired me and I'm like, okay.
But do you see how that is so based in you?
Yeah.
And it's based in either I have confidence or you guys tell me if I should be confident. Because what would have gone along with that is if you applied for a job and you didn't get it, that would be confirmation that you shouldn't be confident.
Yeah.
Whereas someone else could be like, whatever, dude, I applied to 40 jobs. I didn't get one of them. I don't care. I still have a lot to offer. So, and then also you have confidence. I think it can be hard to not confuse, like I have the confidence now because I earned it, but that's not a real thing either. That's earning confidence isn't a real thing. Confidence goes from when you believe I'm not qualified to I'm qualified. And if you don't choose me, that's your loss. That's complete. That's what a confident person would say. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's just nothing other than like, I'm not getting dysregulated by this. I'm not going to let these Zoom meetings put me into fight or flight. Here's what I do. Here's what I can offer you. Let me know. And guess what? I might not want you. Yeah. You know, it goes from this place of desperation and needing other people to approve and to like my photo and to join my program and to tell me they like my outfit and to tell me that they love me. Like that need is never, and hear me when I say this, never going to give me confidence ever. Because you know people who like people will just throw compliments at them. And if they don't believe you, it doesn't matter. That's not, I can't throw this at you and be like, you're amazing. Like we have the option And really our option is in, do you believe them or not?
Yeah.
And I would spend as little time as possible being in, do I believe what other people have to say about me? Because when we poll the audience, they're going to 50-50 going to have different opinions.
Right.
So my question to you when it comes to confidence is, what are your beliefs about yourself? What do you think about yourself? Because I believe that that's where confidence comes from. And when you spend your time in overthinking and perfectionism and people pleasing and being dysregulated in survival mode all the time, you don't have time to build that self-concept up. You don't have time to make those decisions because you're so busy putting out fires and trying to figure things out perfectly before you get started, and trying to make sure your mother is happy, and trying to make sure you get an A+ at something that isn't even graded. And all of that shit is going to block you from confidence because you're going to lose yourself in all of that. You are not going to know who you are. And that's a problem. So now is the time that we take that power back and we start deciding who we are by deciding who we want to be and showing up at that person as that person and creating that confidence inside ourselves.
It sounds like a mental game. And if that's the truth, then you need to start having different conversations with yourself about who you are and what you believe about yourself. But it's not something I don't think people can change overnight, especially if you have a long history of being not confident.
And if you do expect you can change it overnight, you're a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's slow and steady. And again, circling back to the mountain of evidence, you don't just make a mountain. You create that mountain by more and more and more evidence building up until it's irrefutable. It's like there's no arguing here. This is who I am. I know that I've got my own back. I'm confident. I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to say what I want. That's a confident person. So I'm going to do what I want. And I'm okay with people judging me.
Yeah.
Because the problem before is if people judge me, I lose my center. If you judge me or say something shitty about me, I don't know who I am anymore. That's a huge problem. That makes us very, very susceptible to anything from our external environment. That is a bad place to be. You want to have that rock solid center where you're like, I know who I am. And so that if someone tells you something that goes counter to that, you're like, that just doesn't resonate with me. That's not who I believe I am. That's probably a reflection on who that person thinks they are. You know, it's probably projection. You are able to just keep coming back to that center over and over again.
Yeah.
So just as a quick reminder that a lot of the stuff that we've hit on today is exactly what I teach in Vibe Club, exactly what's around the new course, so that you can get to a place where you can create that confidence. If there's one thing that keeps coming up over and over and over with my clients, because I've really liked looking them in the eyes and asking them, like, what is it that you want? Because before it was like to lose 40 pounds or to make $10,000 or whatever. It was a thing. We know, and if we don't, we need to know that that's not going to do it. Like, what do you want, actually? I know you've been trying to get it through these other ways. And the answer that keeps coming in is, I just want to be able to trust myself. I just want to feel confident in my decisions.
I want peace.
I want peace. That's probably the most overarching one. Like, you guys, all of these things in life, we just want a feeling. We want to be at ease inside ourselves. We don't want a comment from our mother-in-law to make us question everything and be like, oh, who am I in the flat? We want this unshakable inner confidence that is like, I know me, I've got me, I don't abandon me, I have my own back. Because in life, there aren't going to be a ton of people who will offer you that. We really have to have ourselves, and I don't outsource that.
Yeah.
So if that is something that you're interested in creating for yourself and getting to a place where you have that foundation strong, because the cool thing about it is that once the foundation is there and you're not spending your time in the overthinking and the dysregulation and the people pleasing and perfectionism and all that, then life gets really cool and really fun because you get to decide, what is it that I want? Now that I don't have to perform for everybody, and outsource my worth and value to everyone outside of me and everything outside of me, what kind of life do I want to create? What do I want to do? How do I want to expend my energy? And that is such a fun question to ask yourself when you have been caught living in survival mode for the last 30 years. It's like so many of us are like waking back up to who we are and and taking the reins back in our own life. And I really want to help women do that. So if that is you, go to vibewithmaggie.com and join the wait list. Or if you hear this after Wednesday, go to that site and I'd love to work with you.
All right.
All right. See you guys next week.
See ya.